Have you ever stopped to wonder why some marriages are built on trust and deep affection, while others seem to thrive on deception and secrecy? Why do people often say one thing but act in a completely different way? Today we're peeling back the layers to reveal the hidden realities that few dare to discuss. Stick around until the end, because we're going to have an unfiltered conversation about the dynamics of marriage and the surprising behaviors of certain married women. Ready? Let's dive in. In an ideal world, marriage is a sacred bond, a promise of loyalty and commitment that stands the test of time. A married woman is expected to be devoted to her spouse, having taken vows to remain steadfast through life's highs and lows. But reality isn't a fairy tale. If a married woman suddenly shows interest in another man, rest assured it's no coincidence. Before marriage, a woman carefully crafts an image of exclusivity. She makes herself seem like a prize to be won, playing by the rules to attract a man who values stability and dedication. However, once she's married, with a ring on her finger and a husband waiting at home, the game changes. There's nothing left to prove, no more conquest needed. Instead, a new desire emerges: freedom, even if only temporarily. Imagine a man noticing a wedding ring on a woman's finger. Logically, that should be a signal to back off. Sometimes the woman even acknowledges it up front, saying, "I'm married." That statement should end the conversation. But if the man isn't deterred, the situation takes a different turn. For her, it's not about seeking a new commitment, but about breaking free from routine, injecting excitement into her life. And while her husband remains oblivious, she's ready to indulge in something thrilling. The man, seeing an opportunity, plays along. Both walk away satisfied, believing they got exactly what they wanted. Surveys suggest that over 60% of men admit to having been involved with a married woman at some point. And, interestingly, around 40% say the woman was the one who initiated it. This goes to show that in many cases, men aren't always the pursuers. Sometimes they're being pursued. However, complications arise when emotions start getting involved. If a man begins to develop deeper feelings, the situation quickly spirals into something much messier. Falling for a woman in this situation is like signing up for an emotional roller coaster with no brakes. The more attached he becomes, the more he expects, but she's not looking for responsibility, just a fleeting escape. If he starts wanting more, he turns into a liability, and she won't hesitate to cut ties. Many of these women feel secure in their marriages. They have financial stability, a comfortable home, and the support of a devoted spouse. This security gives them the confidence to take risks, knowing they have a safety net. Unlike single women, they don't feel like they have much to lose. Real-life examples of this dynamic are everywhere. Scandals involving celebrities, politicians, and high professional business figures whose marriages have crumbled due to extramarital affairs. In many cases, the person originally blamed for the fallout wasn't the one who initiated it in the first place. So, what should a man do in this situation? First, he needs to accept the truth. Relationships like these rarely lead to happy endings. He's just a temporary distraction, a passing chapter in her life. Second, he shouldn't try to change her. If she's seeking excitement, she won't suddenly transform into a loyal and committed partner. Once the situation becomes complicated, she will leave without a second thought. And finally, he must not deceive himself. If he chooses to engage in this kind of game, he should be prepared for the inevitable outcome, being discarded the moment he becomes inconvenient. Marriage isn't always smooth sailing. When a relationship becomes monotonous and filled with responsibilities, the temptation to seek something exciting elsewhere increases. Add nights out with friends and a few drinks into the mix, and the likelihood of an affair skyrockets. A dissatisfied woman might see an opportunity and rationalize it as harmless fun. If her home life is stable, she might not even see it as a betrayal, just a way to inject some novelty into her routine. Ironically, many women who dream of marrying a successful, financially stable man end up feeling unfulfilled when they finally have him. If he becomes too accommodating, prioritizing her happiness over his own self-respect, she may start to lose interest. The more he bends over backward to please her, the less she values him. She begins to take his devotion for granted and starts looking elsewhere for something more thrilling. Often, the husband doesn't even realize that his marriage is falling apart until it's too late. For some women, infidelity isn't about betrayal, it's about seeking excitement. They justify it to themselves by believing it doesn't really change anything. Their home, children, and marriage remain intact. However, when a woman stops respecting her husband and sees that he tolerates her behavior, she pushes boundaries further. The problem is, these issues don't improve over time, they escalate. It's like a house that looks solid on the outside, but is rotting within. And one strong gust of wind and it collapses completely. Picture a devoted husband walking a tightrope over a deep chasm. He pours his energy, time, and resources into his family, only to have his wife shake the rope beneath him. The more she destabilizes their relationship, the greater the chances of him falling. And for what? History is full of men who destroyed their families for fleeting affairs, and countless women who thought they were untouchable, only to lose everything in the end. Without respect, there is no loyalty. Hoping things will miraculously improve is an illusion. Trust and commitment don't come automatically with a marriage certificate. They require consistent effort from both partners. Without it, relationships turn into empty shells, where both people are simply going through the motions until everything falls apart. Married women often attract men because they seem to offer a simpler arrangement. No need for romantic gestures. No need for commitment, just results. Men who aren't looking for anything serious find this appealing, but the risk is high. If a man starts catching feelings, he finds himself in a trap. These flings operate on zero commitment. She gets her excitement, and he gets the illusion of an easy connection. But once emotions come into play, the balance is destroyed. Some men fool themselves into thinking that she might leave her husband for them, but in reality she rarely does. When pressured, she will almost always choose the marriage she already has, leaving the other man emotionally wrecked. So, let's set things straight. If respect isn't present from the beginning, it won't magically appear later. Marriage doesn't change a person, it amplifies who they already are. If a woman didn't respect her husband before the wedding, that won't improve with time. Infidelity can be a moment of weakness for some, a way of life for others. Hoping someone will change is just self-deception. To men, stop ignoring red flags. Have self-respect, and others will respect you. To women, be honest with yourself about what you truly want. Are you willing to commit, or are you chasing a thrill? Life isn't a rough draft. You can't just erase your mistakes and start over. Every decision has consequences. Think carefully before stepping into situations that can spiral out of control. Now, it's your turn. Do you agree with this perspective? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's continue exploring these deep and thought-provoking topics together. Take care, and see you next time.